Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be talking about self-sabotaging, tilt queuing, emotional gaming, and understanding how these concepts work. But also, more importantly, how do we prevent this from happening? And how can we actually keep our LP, our beloved hard-earned LP in the future, so we don't take these massive leaps back to where we came from? And the reason I make this video is because there's been an alarming amount of players that actually shot me a DM or came to my coaching sessions explaining to me, hey, Tim, this weekend I dropped about 200 LP or I dropped 300 LP. And that I'm like, holy moly, that's so much LP. You just worked 2 or 3 weeks to get all of these wins, get it up from gold 3 all the way up to gold 1. And we dropped everything in the span of a day. But yeah, that's what tilt queuing and self-sabotaging is. So let's start with my experiences with tilt queuing and with self-sabotaging. Because I've been there, I've done that, and very occasionally I still do it myself because I am, like you guys, also a League of Legends player. And I also want to win and I want to get better. So let's start with my experiences with tilt queuing and self-sabotaging. So usually in the past, before I actually was studying this stuff and trying to avoid this stuff, what happened is, hey, I had my weekend day off. I had a full day of playing League. No friends planned, no errands I need to run, no girlfriend, nothing on the menu. I was like, okay, I can pump out 9 games today, in which that I'm just gonna go full send and I'm gonna win all of these games. I'm gonna go from master to mid GM, and that was my plan. That's what I think at the start of the day. And what's gonna happen, right, is that you're gonna be queuing up, right? First game goes pretty well. You actually win the first game, but then second game you start to lose that one. No problem. You're still in an okay mental space. Third game you lose that one as well because of the fact that there was some strange lane swaps going on, and I was forced to lane versus a fiddlestick stop. Not too bad. Third game, boom, you actually start playing like dog shit because you're getting a little bit more emotional, and then you recognize after the third game losing, you're incredibly mad. And I experienced it literally today. Like after the third game today, I was pissed because I started off this day insanely well. Like I had insane performances, even though I lost the second game, unfortunately, right? It sometimes happens as well. And then you end the day on like three losses, and you're like, how can that even happen? So getting emotional is a very normal thing, right? Because everyone is trying to win when playing ranked, especially like you're really trying to win, otherwise you don't queue up to ranked. And getting emotional is completely normal because we're all humans, right? And the thing you have to understand is that getting emotional is not something that we can prevent. And when I talk to my my members that want my advice or that get coaching by me, what I actually say is I don't try to suppress your emotions, because that's not really something that we can actually do, because we're all human and we all have emotions. Rather, try to learn how to deal with your emotions. And that's exactly how we're going to be trying to avoid this self-sabotaging, is with dealing with our emotions. Because the reality is, getting emotional is going to be part of your journey, because everyone's, once again, trying to win. And the way that you want to view getting emotional as a little bit of a problem in your League of Legends games is that there's a very big difference between your emotional and your rational brain. And what it actually does is that whenever you're in your emotional brain, right, whenever you're feeling emotional, what happens is that you are just fully playing towards your instincts, impulses, and intuition. That can sometimes be good, but more often than not, it's actually not good, because League of Legends is an information-based game. So what happens if you use your emotional brain, it's going to be much harder to use your rational brain, which is responsible for logical, analytical, and problem-solving functions. And problem-solving functions is exactly what League of Legends is about. So if we're not going to be able to use this rational brain because we're in our emotional brain, what's going to happen is you're going to make suboptimal decisions, and your gameplay inherently becomes worse, even though it maybe doesn't even feel like you are playing worse. And that's the most important thing to understand, is whenever you have the inkling, whenever you start recognizing that you get a little bit more emotional, it's time for you to quit playing and take a break. Do whatever else, right? Even if it's on your Sunday, Sunday afternoon where you got a full break, you got a full weekend free to play, just stop playing. My hard rule of playing is, hey, I lose 3 games in a row on one day, I quit. Because I'm guaranteed that the next game that I play, I'm not going to be playing my best. The chances are I'm not going to be playing well at all. And I really want to walk you guys with what happened with, for example, Jonny right here. I had a coaching session yesterday with Jonny. And Jonny did a pretty good job just in the past few weeks, just improving. And what happens right here is that he lost 6 games in a row on his Sunday. And he said to me in the coaching session, yeah, Tim, Sunday was a really, really brutal day. I asked him to send him his OPGG. And I just really wanted to play on Sunday. I really wanted to climb because I finally had some time. I had no work on a Sunday. And that's going to actually make it worse. Funny enough, it's going to make it worse. Because if you start playing while you're expecting to win, right, you put expectations upon yourself and it doesn't start working. What's also going to happen is you're not going to be able to review properly as well because you're expecting to win, you're not winning. And he said to me, yeah, I feel it's the junglers. I feel like every jungle has 10 kills and I cannot win the game. And of course, that's what you're feeling because it's your emotional brain like talking to you. But you look at the game the day after, right, when you're completely back to normal and you look at that game, you're going to be reviewing it and you see so many mistakes that you're making. Now, compare that to what happened to me this week, what kind of an experience that I had this week, because I think I had the perfect experience that actually ties back into this situation as well. I had a banger weekend, right? I had a really, really good weekend in the sense that Saturday, which 4 days ago, I had a really good run Saturday. I had an amazing run. I had a first game which I lost. I didn't play too well. And then the second game I won, third game I won, 4, 5, 6. I won everything. Beautiful, done. By the way, I only play max 6 games a day because I feel like my intensity is then the highest. And then Monday, right, I did not play on the Sunday. And then the Monday, I wanted to play 4 games because I made some time for 4 games. My work was finished and I wanted to play 4 games, 2 blocks of 2 and get going. But what I recognized instantly in the first game, I instantly recognized that I completely inted. And during the game, I was already saying to myself, I cannot continue playing after this because I was missing stuff in the game that I would usually not be missing. So what I did is instead of queuing 3 more games, losing all of the games, I actually quit playing. And then the day after, I felt completely clear, complete clarity, and I smurfed every single game that I played in, winning all 3 in. And very clearly, like, these are all games that were fully in my control. If I did not play well as I did in these games, I would have lost all of them. Then now today, right, I started off with the Zinra game, which went amazing, and I lost 3 after. And after this Ari game, I was pissed, dude. I was so pissed. But I recognized, hey, I need to stop playing right now. And I had mainly scheduled for 4 games, right? But I still had some time left over. I had about 1.5 hours left over today. And I really, really, really wanted to play 2 more games, right? Because how can you lose? How can you end on a lose? Like, I fully understand. I really wanted to click that queue up button again, try to get the LP back and try to let me feel good in that sense. But I actually decided not to because I know if I looked at my 2 games at the end, right, with a little bit more of a smile on my face, look at the performance in this game. I was fucking inting, man. Come on. I was completely running it. Let's be honest. In both games, I'm completely running it. So not participating to trying to win the game at all. So yeah, like this is it. This is it, right? And the way that I want you guys to approach it is I really want you guys to do some self-check when you're on it. Like whenever you're playing these games, I really want you guys to be hyper aware of how are you feeling? Like, are you feeling well? Keep playing. Are you feeling mediocre or bad? Stop playing in these situations. And I think a very good way to prevent you from gaslighting yourself into being able to continue playing is actually by putting that hard cap on 3 losses in a row. You lose 3 games in a row, you're done for the day. Just quit it because you're gonna self-sabotage yourself some more for 3 another games. You're gonna feel like absolute shit, and you're really gonna be tanking your LP because every single game counts. And that's just the reality of the situation, guys. Right? That's how this works. And getting emotional is okay as long as you start dealing with your emotions, and that's absolutely the trick of League of Legends, right? And not self-sabotaging yourself. Because it's really important that you don't lose these games, because you play against better players if you don't lose, and you learn more, and you get better quality opponents, so you play much better, more learnings. So it's really important that you don't start in the games and you start playing below your average, your skill level.
I don't know if it's just bad luck or me also getting into a bad mental space. It feels like it's a chain of I'm losing control over my games.
Okay. So to prevent this, right, in the next time, what I want you to try, Jonny, is like we play in blocks for a reason, right? And right. I think a really good thing is if you recognize that you go 0-3 on a day, which can sometimes happen, but if you really look at it statistically, the chance of you to go 0-3 on a day and you not being the main impactor in the game is almost 0%. Right? So what you see is if you go 0-3 in a day, more likely than not, it's you. So if you recognize that you go 0-3 in a day, I want you to take a break for that day. I want you to take an hour off, 2 hours off, go have a jog, go do something else, right? Just get your mind off the game. And if you recognize, hey, I'm 0-3 right now, to stop the further bleeding, I want you to in-depthly review these games. And I want you to really try to get specific and really start thinking, hey, what could I have done differently? And I know it sucks because you have your Sunday, right? And you want to play a little bit more than 3 games on a Sunday.
Progress.
Yeah, man. I know exactly how it is. Been there, done that. Right? I've got some streaks in my match history. You're gonna be very scared when you look at the red in the stuff. And you know what it is, right? They're gonna happen these days and these games. And for me, I've always found that I cannot prevent these days from happening, but I can prevent myself from spiraling out of control.